Hello there, my brothers and sisters. Vessel of Truth here, Jay from Virginia for the new people. And wanted to do a quick video, just kind of to go with the emails that I've got and some texts, just to do an update on upcoming events. Everyone should know that Passover is soon to start. On the calendar that I follow, it actually starts the 6th, which of course begins at sundown on the 5th. So, when it comes to Passover, I know there's some people out there that this is going to be their first year doing it, and some people, it'll be their second year, and so on and so forth. Each year, it gets a little easier, and you learn more every year. You do things differently, and so on and so forth. But people also have been making it a little bit harder than what it really is. And that's why I have, come to the conclusion to make this video. Because, Exodus 12, it lays everything out for us. Starting in Exodus 12, verse 2, it says, "This month shall be unto you the beginning of months." Of course, April 1st was usually always the first of the year. It's another video, but anyway, the first of the year always changes because of the Gregorian calendar and so on and so forth. But it's another thing. But each year, the feast days are always on the same time. It's just the days change because the calendars are different. But the feasts are still done or celebrated this same way. "So it shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for the house. And if the household be too small," basically you're going to pick a lamb, you're going to keep the lamb. And of course, you're going to keep the lamb for 3 days, and then you're going to kill the lamb. But what the point we want to get to is it's a lamb without spot or blemish, which you can reference Exodus 12 for all of the Passover. You shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it that evening, and they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two sides of the post, the upper door, the post of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh, and that night roast with fire, unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs. This right here, verse 8, is all the Passover meal consists of. You have your meat, your unleavened bread, and your bitter herbs. Now, one of the things that is the best bitter herb for representing that hard labor and sin that we are delivered from is horseradish. And, I really don't know anybody that likes horseradish. And it is a very, very good representation of sin or hard labor and bondage that we were delivered from. And, that's what the bitter herbs are for. And, of course, you have your red wine or your juice. It goes on to instruct, to eat of it raw, not sodden with oil, don't boil it, all this stuff. And you shall let nothing of it remain until morning. In other words, whatever your meal is of the meat, nothing can remain till morning. Finish it all. Or if you have anything left over, it needs to be burnt. And thus you shall eat with your loins girded your shoes on your feet, with your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. You figure the first time they did this Passover, they were waiting to be delivered from Egypt. The death angel was going to pass and kill the firstborn and pass over all the people that had the blood on their doorposts. Same way with us. We have the blood of Christ over the doorpost of our heart. We were delivered from sin, that bondage, and given power over the world, the flesh, and the devil through the finished work of Christ. So, we are in the same situation of what they were in. We are awaiting the second coming of Christ to deliver us from this world so that we inherit the kingdom. They were awaiting, of course, deliverance from Egypt. It goes through and it tells them, he's going to pass through what I just said. But I mean, this whole chapter, it covers everything about the Passover. You figure the first day is a Sabbath, which it gets down to. It says, verse 15, 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you should put away leaven out of your house. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that soul should be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there should be a holy convocation. That's a Sabbath. And in the seventh day there should be a holy convocation, i.e. another Sabbath. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, i.e. your meal, that only may be done of you. And you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. And, think about it. It's a day of remembrance, but it's also prophetic for us too, because we are still waiting to be delivered. Once again, when our Savior's second coming happens. It's not a hard thing. I always recommend, even as you're doing your Passover meal, read the scriptures that pertain to the Passover. Read not only the Old Testament parts, but also as that which pertains to Christ, his finished work, because he is our Passover lamb. It's through his blood on our hearts that allows us a stay on Judgment Day from the lake of fire. And, it's not a punishment or anything like that. It's a solemn feast of remembrance, and it's a celebration because our God cannot lie. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. What he said, he will do, no matter what. He's not a man that he can lie. So we know just from history that when the Father says something, he does it. So we know that our Passover lamb will be coming back again. So, I just wanted to do a refresher because, there's a lot of chaos and confusion out there. People saying things that they shouldn't be saying, the stater plate and, the silver, a meal on a silver platter. I mean, all that's paganism. Stick with what the word says. It's simple, it's direct, and it has worked throughout the years. The Father doesn't ask anything of us that's too hard. And, I understand that I do have some people that mentioned, about horseradish and that they wasn't too thrilled about that. And, that's your decision. Um, if you can think of something that represents sin just as well as horseradish does, because, to me, horseradish is probably the most nasty thing ever to be. That's just my opinion. Um, I'm sure there's somebody out there that just loves the stuff, but hey, bon appetit. You can have it. It's just a great representation of sin or bondage and that we have been delivered from. Um, Enjoy yourself. Don't be all stiff. Just remember, praise the Father for what He has done and what He will be doing. Enjoy yourself. Learn. If you're doing it with other people, talk amongst yourselves. Enjoy yourself. But of course, eat your meal, of course, fully dressed and in haste. Uh, it's just that simple. Just follow what the Word says, and you'll be fine. Um, if it's your first time, hey, you learn as you go. Each year it gets easier. Um, some people, the first time they didn't have, the preparation to have lamb, or maybe didn't have, even if you don't have lamb, use some kind of meat. Sometimes, lamb can be expensive. Do the best you can do. You know, that's, the Father looks down and He sees, wow, my children are trying. And that says volumes compared to someone that just refuses to do anything. At least He sees your heart that you're trying. And that's huge. So, we could go on and on, but I just want to keep this short. And, just a reminder that, yep, the first day is a Sabbath, the last day is a Sabbath, unleavened bread throughout. If you're convicted to where you need to get rid of all of your leaven that's in your house, okay, but, truthfully, they used starters back then, and they made bread every day from a starter, and they would throw away their starter. Today, we buy bread, therefore, just know that you can't have any leavened bread for that week. Just follow the Word and you'll be fine. And enjoy yourself. But with that, I'll leave it there. As always, if you need to get a hold of me, email me at jtt1777@outlook.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I thank everyone for your prayers. I'm still praying for you always. And I just pray that the blessings of the Father be upon each and every one of you all, always. And with that, I will catch you all on the next one.